Hey yo, how's everyone going? Alright, so we're gonna get back into making wacky racing vehicles. So I'm gonna jump on Discord actually, and I'm gonna go live and see if anyone wants to jump in and watch. And answer some questions, and we'll try and jump through some stuff. I'll jump on the Creative Lounge. And we'll share our screen for them too, I guess. Okay. I'm on my terrible desktop, guys. So what I'm looking to do right now is just turn on some API settings in Blender. Sorry, in Enfusion. We don't need to save that, that's fine. So I brought the test wheels in that we were playing with last night just to see if they load on a car, and they do, without issues. They don't look great, but again, this is just for testing. We can reskin and redo them later if we need to. But that's fine. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go back to our workbench and our options, and we want to check we've got enable API turned up. The other thing you want to do is make sure you've installed your Enfusion Blender tools, all of their add-ons, because that'll allow you to do this. So go into your assets, and now I'm going to share an FBX file with you guys that you can use for this, but this is the one I've made so far. So we'll open this one. So we can send it to Blender. Yes. What this is going to do is it's going to open up Blender. I'm just going to bring it straight in for us. Just going to turn the music down a bit. Alright. So all that's done is brought in the wheel. But you can see it even brings it in with the textures, which is fine. So we'll get out of there. We don't want him. Not sure why it's only brought the wheel in. That's not good. Alright, we'll bring in the base card FBX. That should be the correct one. Send to Blender. That's better. Change the song's a bit intense. Okay, so there's a few things in here to go through. You can turn on your tools here. Now, Enfusion tools is probably all you really need. You can use the AR vehicle tools that you'll find on GitHub. It's good for making your fire geometry and your wheel collisions. Otherwise, I don't really use it. And I do delete some of the default bones that come in the sample mod, so I recommend going and checking the sample mod out first and having a look at what they have going on. But if we jump into these, we can hide the fire or the main geometry, which is the collision geometry. So UBX is box, and we can go into the vehicle here. So we've got still some collision geometry, which is this green, which is the fire geometry. So we can turn that off with hide again. Oh, sorry, that was G, hide. Alright, some other things we're going to do quickly just to make this a bit easier to read. So if you hold Alt and middle mouse, you can scroll around and snap. Otherwise, middle mouse. I'm not going to teach everyone how to use Blender. But I like to turn some basic settings. Sorry, bear with me. Always forget where these are. Alright, we'll keep them as they are. Bones. Where's viewport? I'm bloody blind today. Alright, change them to stick. We'll give them names, then we'll put them in front. Alright, so these are all the bones. Now, these come in the sample car. I will give this FBX for people if you want to play around with it. But the gist of these bones usually is you need to bring them in, you need to position them in the right spots for everything to work. There is a little bit of play. The big ones that probably need play the most are the body bone. So edit mode, This really needs to be in line, kind of just below your axles and in line with your body, otherwise your wheels aren't going to sit right. The V-root always needs to be centered. You need to make sure that the geometry of all of these aligns to the center here in the zero. I'm not going to go into details of how to move all the bones around. I'm sure you guys can figure that out on your own. But essentially clicking on any of the bones in edit mode, and then G, and snapping with your Y or your Z tools, or X, will allow you to move bones around and get them in place. So we'll work through that when I import the new vehicle in a minute. What we'll do first is we'll save this as a file that we can give to people. And we'll go into cars, we'll go toilet car, we'll get textured, no, we'll keep it out of here. We'll make a new folder here. We'll call this FBX rigged. And we'll just call it sample FBX, or sample car arg. Yeah, that'll do. Rigged. So I'll save this Blender file, and I'll be able to give everyone this to use. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll bring in some basic stuff here. First things, we'll get out of edit mode. We'll go back now. The body, or load, LODO 0 or LOD 0 is like your default. You can bring in more LODs. You can have up to 8, I think, in Reforger. A LOD is just, depending on how far away you are from the object, it's going to show lower resolutions if you bring in lower poly models. So I'm not too fussed about doing that, but I'll delete this because we don't need it, and I'll keep my steering wheel for now because we'll just use the default one I've set. I don't really want to go into the animations too much for that right now, but eventually if people are interested I can show them how to do these animations. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. I am recording at the moment. How are you, man?
I'm okay. Just going through my Discord, deleting all this shit.
Yeah, I feel you. Right. So I'm just doing
Yeah, what are you doing?
a tutorial on cars.
Nice.
A tutorial on cars, my friend. So we're bringing in a toilet. Indeed.
Interesting.
So this is the toilet. So we'll import our FBX we've made in our previous tutorial that I put on YouTube. And do a few things. Alright, get rid of these. These are just the cameras from where it imports. Ooh. And we should unparent this Alt-P, clear and keep transformation. I'm going to delete that now. Now we can rotate this on the Z-axis 180 degrees. And we can go Shift S, selection to cursor active. Where's my world origin? Oh, cursor to world origin. No, we don't want that. Yeah, that's good. Object, selection to cursor. Alright, so now we're aligned. GZ to move him up, and we can see where the wheels are roughly going to align. And then from here we can probably move around and start to scale. Definitely need some scaling. Just a moment. Come here, cat. My cat is being silly.
Cute.
Sure. Please come here. Stop meowing. Everyone's asleep. Fuck. Alright. What I might do actually is I'm just going to go back and re-import that object I had quickly. Shut up, cat. You're chill, man. Alright, we'll bring him back in so we can see the scale. This might make it a bit easier. Import FBX. Toilet Kart. GY. Move that along. Alt P. Clear parents. Delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that silly socket there. RZ 180, GZ up, GY. Alright, now we can start scaling this to look better. Scale. I don't want it too big. About there. G. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, head to the origin. Selection to cursor. GZ. Snap around, and we'll get this in line. GZ. So it's in line with those axes now. Alright, cool. That's good. We can move those. Now we can delete him. Alright, fire geometry. Let's just hide that geo. Interesting. Pretty close with that wheel. I'm not sure where the axle sits, at the front or the back of this from memory. At the back. Okay, so we need to move that forward. Alright, so we can go back into here then, edit, and go to these bones. So the ones you want to move is your wheel, your suspension, your axle 2, and the opposite side, so wheel, suspension again for the back. I'm going to hide these wheel collisions because they're in the way. So clicking on them and H will hide them. And if we go in there and tab, should be able to select just those. Correct. Alright, cool. So we'll go back and align them. Y with G moves them along. Should snap the wheels there. Perfect. Alright, the front one has a few more. There's a rotator and a wheel. The other thing I might do is move these in slightly. So, yeah, that doesn't look completely aligned.
How do you make a server, never mind.
There's a whole lot to that, man, I could unpack. So move him on the X to center him a bit better. Perfect. Get rid of that. Alright, now we're starting to look lined up. Alright, wheels, tab. So we'll go G, and on the X axis, we can move this minus 0.2.
Fucking hilarious. Good.
1, we'll say minus 0.05. No, that's too far. Minus, what? Minus 0.05. That's pretty good. And then for this one, G, positive 0.05. Alright, we can align the front the same. So we'll select, oh, not that one. These guys. We want to grab, not the body, but we do want to grab the axle. Oh, that's the pedal brake. Axle's hiding in there. We can move that down if we need to, but I might keep it there now just for the sake of not breaking the suspension in this car. Alright, we got those. GY. Snap them back in place. Body's in a good spot, root's in a good spot. Sitting a bit far back from the center, but that should be fine. The steering wheel. Alright. Let's go into edit mode on this object and just kill this dude quickly.
Where is War Thunder? To add that to the server. War thunder.
Alright, so we'll shift highlight those and delete all the
What you
vertical.
recording for, dude?
Recording a tutorial of how to make these cars for people, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, I had a few people interested, so I just thought I'd keep it straightforward. Do a video.
That's pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool.
But it's more than just one video, so. Alright, so this is loot. Now we just alt. Fill that with F. That'll do. I really can't be asked to make that look much better. Doesn't matter to me that much, to be honest. That's fine. Alright, fine. Get out of there. Next thing, I've already pre-made my steering wheel and assigned the steering wheel axes to it. But essentially, the original sample model has vertices. The only one that really matters is the steering wheel if you want to animate it, but otherwise you need to weight paint all the other objects. And weight painting is done in... No, and it needs to be 100% weighted.
What
And
does boosting do for a server?
boosting would make your server promoted, I'd imagine, in like Discord ads.
Very weird. Because there's no point to boost, okay.
So you can see I've animated this if I go click on the bones. Oh, where am I? Object mode. Get out of there. I've clicked on something. X-ray. Can't seem to select my bones. That's why. I go into pose mode and then rotate this. It doesn't really do it on that angle, but if Alt and 7, what is it? Shift and 7. No, Shift 2. Alright, cool. So on this angle, it rotates the steering wheel. So you can set keyframes, like I could go, oh, I want this to be I, keyframe 0 at this angle, and then hold Alt and scroll up to keyframe 20 and push R and minus 90. Push I to keyframe that again, scroll ahead again, push I again. Oh shit, didn't do that right. R, we can go plus 90, I, and then you can cap that
How
at
do you
like
add rolls to somebody?
40. And then if you animate that with space, you can see this is how you make animations.
Dude, how do I add rolls to someone?
Oh man, couldn't help you with Discord stuff right now, dude. That's a whole other kettle of fish.
These rolls. Create roll.
Alright, so I'm gonna stop this and we'll go back.
Roll name. Fellow mod.
We're gonna move this guy down there.
Fellow mod. Fellow mod.
Sorry, we should do that accurately. So move it on Y and then GZ. And then we want to rotate it on the bone. Shift 2. And skeleton mode. That's pretty good. Oh, so we can click there and go cursor to selected with Shift S. And then pick that again and rotate it on the wrong axis. Why is it doing that? That's interesting.
Oh, permissions, under permissions.
That's fine, we can do that. Rotate Y, X. That's X axis. GY, GZ, GY, GZ. I want to try and get this lined up in the center of the steering column. Cool, tab out of there. Now we can go back to object mode. Just gotta get my cat to stop meowing. One sec, guys. Alright, so I had some recording difficulties. I'm gonna have to go back, I think, and show everyone how I got to this stage. But it's genuinely only been another 15 minutes, I think. from where this cut out. The car's not in a working state by any means. I got some things and tools I need to fix, but essentially all we've done is make the Blender file, which I'm going to upload for people. I'm going to talk people through how to use this, but just loading in. We brought in our load zeros for the steering wheel and the cart. Scaling's way off, so we need to fix that. We've done the skeletons, so I'll upload this for people to have a copy, as I said. A few things might need to be moved in this still, but the basic concept is you need to make sure your body bone is always in the right place. You need to align your wheels, your rotators, your suspension and your axles, your steering, and your doors and where you sit. The rest is semantic, depending on the kind of vehicle you've got. You see I've got doors on this. Right O1, left O1. You can also have right O2, left O2 if you've got rear doors. You can have passenger seats instead of the pilot seats, all of these different kinds of things. I might go in and actually move one of these. I'm not too stressed on actually. And you can see the bone set up here. So essentially everything's linked back to this root down the bottom. The origin is in the middle there, ignore where my cursor is. Oh, didn't mean to push that key. Cancel, Shift S, cursor to selected. Cursor to world origin, yeah. This is where everything links back to. So what I'll do is I'll upload these files. Oh, that's probably why we're well off center. Let's move him back to selected. No. Selection to cursor. Oh, okay, it thinks it's there. That's fine, that's its origin. So it moves along that bone and pivots up to these. Alright, anyway, apologies, I cut this off. I'll have to come back and show people this. I'm going to have to watch this video again, I think, and see where it's dropped out and what I've missed. But bringing this in isn't too hard. Exporting it with Enfusion tools isn't too hard. You just need to make a collision for the fire geometry and things like that, which you can literally just make some boxes and drag them over what I've got. And once you've done all these things, you can drag it in as your XOB files. Where is it? Vehicles, toilets. And you can set up those e-materials that we set up yesterday and drag those on top. You need to make sure you bring it in and click export skinning, and that will bring all the bones in. That's kind of the gist of it. And then from there, you clone one of your existing prefabs, and you'll go into the prefab and start to edit it. So we can go through what I've changed, but the big things is just removing unnecessary components, moving the character into the right spots, which he is certainly not at the moment. Oh god. Too fast. As you can see, definitely some adjustment needed. Oh, don't know where that's gone. Oh shit, didn't mean to put that there. Put him back there. Click in there. Apparently it thinks he's down there for some reason. Oh, that's the neck offset. Interesting. Not played with that value before. May need to move him in line with the offset. Anyway, that's something else to fuck with, and we can play with that later. But if you put this in and hypothetically play with it now, we have a very poorly weighted vehicle. You can see the geometry was bad. Weighted at the back. Where's the door there? Yeah, sorry. Gotta align these bones better. And obviously the steering's well off. So we're gonna go back and revisit most of this, I'm gonna say. The wheels need aligning, but they work, even with that shit UV. Ah man, it's so hard to control at the moment. Just don't touch it. See if we make it. No good. And eventually I'll show you how we can fix these icons, get rid of the rect, and then eventually bring them into these areas and sections and get them their logos and all that crap if anyone's interested. Alright, so I'll leave it there for now. I think I need to rewatch this. I'm gonna upload it anyway, and I'll figure out what dropped. And I will chat to everyone next time. If anyone's got questions, please feel free to reach out.